Hey guys, what's going on? This is Talkin Hands. We are back live previewing UFC Fight Night. Derek Lewis versus Oleinik. As always, I'm your host, Preston Ecto, joined by my co-host, Slaughterhouse1 on Twitter, Jeff Slaughter. Jeff, how are we doing this week?
What's up? We doing good. We ready to get down to this card, man. It doesn't seem like a that great of a card, but it's something to work with. I guess we can find some spots on there. And I've been chilling this week, man. Last week was rough for me, so I kind of laid low this week, and I'm kind of wondering what to unleash on because I'm not too confident in much right now. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I agree. This isn't the greatest card to really go heavy on. But before we start to break down the card, let's hit our sponsors real quick. As always, we are live here in San Antonio, Texas. If you are in the area, make sure to visit Natural Heights. If you suffer from stress, anxiety, joint pain, PTSD, insomnia, which this week I feel like I've suffered from all,
Yep.
just not having a great week, bit of a headache. Might have to go buy myself some CBD at Natural Heights. They are located at 1880 Nacogdoches Road. Phone number 210-592-1060. And as always, we're going to be live tomorrow. When we go live, we use mybookie.ag. If you guys want to join us, tail us, or bet your own thing, go to mybookie.ag. Use promo code PubSports. Deposit a minimum of $99. They'll get you hooked up with a 50% deposit bonus. So you can watch the fights with us, tail our picks, make your own picks, deposit, withdraw, do whatever you want. And make sure you plug in that promo code to get yourself a nice bonus.
Last but not least, check out Southtown 101. We are back. We are open. We've got the patio open. We've got the to-go orders rolling. Come get your burgers, your beer, margaritas to go. Just bought a new margarita machine. Things are flowing. Come down to Southtown 101, San Antonio, Texas, down here in Southtown.
Yep, San Antonio, that's where we're located.
And visit our website, www.pubsportsradio.com. There's lots of good articles, merchandise, some very cool shirts on there.
Yeah, we're rocking the Talkin Hands shirt. We have our Talkin Hands Fight Island shirt up on display.
And we have all the odds now, and plenty of bet calculators to, wager calculators to figure out your bet.
For sure. So let's break down this card. We're going to open up with a bantamweight bout between Irwin Rivera taking on Ali Al-Kazi.
Yep, so Rivera comes in at minus 185. Ali Al-Kazi plus 155. Over and under 2.5. Over minus 185. Under plus 185. 155 plus 155 for the under. Man, this is kind of a rough fight to start out on because we don't know much about this Ali guy. I do know that he's pretty much a pure grappler. He looks like he's a good one, good wrestler, good grappler. Low level competition though, which kind of scares me as always. He's mainly a counter striker, so he's not looking to stand at all, and he doesn't look to be much of a striker even when he does counter. He is a tough kid though. He's never been finished by strikes. So that's a little concerning, but again, the competition is, I don't think, near UFC level, what Rivera has had a taste of. And the other thing I noticed about the Ali guy, when he does get to the mat, he's not great on top, but he's always going to go for some submissions. He can be dangerous a little bit, but I'm not too worried about that here with Rivera. Rivera looked not bad coming up a weight class on short notice against Chica.
Yep,
right?
Giga Chikadze.
And he got his ass kicked, but he's a tough little son of a bitch, and he looked good for coming up a full weight class, being the smaller guy. Another asset you gotta love is that he trains with both Burns brothers. I mean, they're gonna be in his corner, I think. I'm not sure, but he trains with both those guys. So you know what kind of camp they're running. They're and he's got good hands. I mean, he's got good hands, quick in and out, good scrambles, poor takedown defense, which you got to worry about a little bit because this Ali guy is going to look to get it to the mat, 100%. But I kind of like what I see from Rivera. I think he's got a bright future. He's got good liver kicks. I've seen him hurt some people with those liver kicks, flying knees, and a good overhand left. So I think all around, I think he's going to tweak enough to take this. I'm going to go with the favorite here. Rivera, minus 185.
Yeah, so like Jeff was saying, this is a pretty tough fight to analyze because this is the first fight for Ali Alkize in the UFC. Has a little bit of footage online. Looks like primarily a grappler. Has a couple subs. Seems to, like you said, wrestle, get him down. Erwin Rivera, we know a little more what we have seen out of him. Moves up in weight, gives up a huge height, reach disadvantage in that bout. So here, that shouldn't play a big problem in the fight. He's primarily a striker, looked decent, cracked Giga a couple times, but he got beat up pretty bad. But his chin held up. Uh, just a rule of thumb I like to take in a striker grappler match, unless I know a lot about the striker, and this one I don't know a lot. I tend to favor the grappler, so I'm gonna pick Ali Akize. No real bet here on this fight for me, but I'm gonna roll the dice and take the dog here. So we can move on to Peter Barrett taking on Youssef Zalal.
Yep. Youssef comes in at minus 490, the big favorite. Peter Barrett comes in at plus 365, the over and under 2.5, minus 145 over, plus 115 under. Preston, what do you got?
Yeah, so Peter Barrett, I watched his Contender Series fight a couple days ago. The only issue I had with that fight was at the beginning he was getting cracked pretty bad by it's like a Japanese guy. I forgot his name, but yeah, he was getting cracked pretty bad, controlled on the ground a bit. But then once the guy gassed out, Barrett took over and really started putting a beating on him standing. But we've seen Youssef now twice, I think, in the UFC. Good striking. He can just kind of use his range, pick his spots. And he just fought John Griffin, who for sure is better than this guy. And in round 2 and round 3, Youssef kind of turned it up a notch and really put it on him. Instead of laying the 480, 490, whatever it is, maybe a Youssef inside the distance, if you can get halfway decent odds, isn't bad. Up to this range at 490, it's pretty tough to even parlay the guy.
Yep.
Because if you parlay him with Kevin Holland, you're probably getting 3-1. So, yeah, I think Youssef can get it done inside the distance. I think he just has more skills, and he looks like a fighter on the rise and a guy to look out for. So I'm going to take Youssef Zalal.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Youssef, all around, to me, has Peter Barrett beat in all aspects. Peter Barrett comes out, southpaw fighter, pretty decent striker, tough guy, tough kid, but doesn't have great defense, man. So he's going to take some shots, and that's for sure. Peter Barrett wants to make this kind of a Boston brawl, a dirty inside brawl, but Youssef is going to be the superior wrestler here, and with this amazing level changes that he does offer, and I think we're going to see a show. I think it's going to be a classic Youssef, probably decision, to be honest with you, or possibly inside the distance, like you said. But I'm leaning a little bit more the decision, and I'm going Youssef all the way.
Yeah.
Again, though, you can't bet it, so I mean, and I don't want to take the over because anything can happen. It's just one of those things where I don't know. I might just sit back and watch. Youssef to me is the right play, but again, you can't parlay that, and I can't see any props yet on my bookie, so. They only have him out for several fights. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. So we move on here to Justin James taking on Gavin Tucker, which definitely has seen some interesting line movement in this bout.
Yep. Justin James, Gavin Tucker comes in at minus 125. Justin James is minus 105. Over and under 2.5. Over minus 145. Under plus 115. You talked about the line movement. It changed pretty drastically, hasn't it?
Yeah, Gavin Tucker on Monday was minus 225. So
that's crazy.
It's down a whole dollar, yeah.
I mean, but that shows you what the bookies thought of Gavin Tucker right off the bat, doesn't it? Because they set the line so far.
Yeah, I think, too, though, it is because
Justin James, to me, he's got, the big win last bout out, and I think it's a big public reaction, personally.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was going to lean on here. I don't have much on Justin James, so he knocks out Frank Camacho in like a minute, his debut fight in the UFC. Now he's against not like a huge veteran, but the guy's had a few fights in the UFC, couple wins. Looked pretty good his last fight against this Sung Woo Choi guy, but again, not too impressive. So I can see why it's lined at a pick 'em, but I think you have to favor Gavin Tucker. And what's good with Tucker is he can take, not a beating, but he can take some shots. He's not going to go down easily. Like James cracked Camacho because Camacho had a bad weight cut or something. Yeah, because Camacho, I think, was overweight pretty bad that fight. And James was moving up in weight, and Camacho didn't make weight. And literally the first punch James hit him with was night-night. So that's not going to happen here. I'm on Tucker at a pick 'em. But again, hard to bet these fights because there's still not a lot of live good tape on this Justin James guy to me. So.
And that and Gavin Tucker has been away for what, a year and a half maybe or so. I mean,
a little over a year. Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of you never know how these guys react once they get back in the ring. Are they gonna be a little rusty, or maybe just a little bit slower? Or who knows?
Right.
Usually, you don't see them come out much sharper than they've been, but maybe that's the case. We don't know either. So Tucker coming back after a year, he fights in the southpaw stance as well. He's got a nice jab, good, great jabs to the head, to the body, good movement, switches stances, great footwork. And the thing is, both these guys are black belts on the mat, so that's going to be interesting. I probably give the edge, the power edge to James. He's got powerful left hook and good calf kicks. He's also a strong wrestler. James is, but Tucker is too. So that's where it's kind of. I mean, this is a weird fight. I think Tucker throws the more volume inside the pocket. Definitely, he's going to throw more combos, more like spinning back fist. I think he's just got the cleaner technique, but James's power is scary, man. So, man, this is tough for me. I'll probably lay off, but I'd have to lean Gavin Tucker here. I think just the thing I don't like about Tucker is he does, like you alluded to it, he can take a shot. So that means his defense isn't great.
Yeah, no,
He tends to take some shots, and if Justin James has the power that he showed against Camacho, if that's true power, Tucker could be in trouble. So. It's not by any means a safe bet, but I'd probably lean Tucker just experience-wise, and I think he probably throws more volume. And if this thing goes to decision, it's going to favor him.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you on that one. So we move on here to Andrew Sanchez taking on Wellington Turman, which is a pretty interesting fight here.
Wellington Turman comes in at -145. Andrew Sanchez +115. Over and under 2.5. The over -290. Under 2.5 +230. It's crazy. That's a big bet.
Yeah, that's 290 because it is Apex, so it's the smaller cage.
It is.
Last week, I can't remember if there wasn't a ton of finishes because Brunson finished Edmund late in the third round. I don't think there was a ton of finishes last week, so maybe it's just the matchup here because Sanchez definitely is the wrestler and Turman's more of a jiu-jitsu guy. So maybe they're thinking this will cancel out, be a boring stand-up fight. No, neither guy can knock each other out. So
yeah, but Sanchez is also freaking. He's a purple belt too, I think. So, man, this is a tough match. I kind of feel like these are the same kind of fighters, man. Like they're both gonna offer the forward pressure. They do it a little differently. Turman will forward pressure, throw combos to get you against the fence, drag you down. Like that's what he wants to do. Take your back.
Yeah, when he was on Carl Roberson, like on the mat, he looked really good. He was beating him up pretty easily and working his jiu-jitsu. Almost got a sub. Roberson then reversed and started bombing him out. I think Turman probably won that fight, but they gave it to Roberson. So, and then Sanchez, from what we've seen, not really a great stand-up guy. I would actually edge probably Turman standing, even though Turman got beat up by Roberson. And then with Sanchez, it's definitely his wrestling. But even then, you can't really rely on that because say he gets Turman down, I would imagine he might get swept. He should be the bigger guy though.
Yep.
But I'm gonna take Turman here.
I'm on Turman too. I just think, look, Andrew's a good kid too, and he moves forward as well. He to me, he's more hittable. His defense isn't as well. He's more hittable. Turman probably is a little bit better on the feet, in my opinion. And, I mean, dude, he's a back snatcher. He's going to go after that back. He's going to try to drag you down, and so is Andrew. But Turman's advantage is going to be his gas tank. He has better cardio.
Yeah, younger kid, too.
Yep.
Yeah,
And he's,
yeah.
man, so I'm all over Wellington here. I think it's a good spot for him, too, at minus 145. I think that line will maybe go the other way because I've seen a ton of action on Sanchez.
Yeah, but I think people, they got Sanchez at a little bigger dog price. But, yeah,
Okay.
I agree. I thought, initial look, I thought this was probably my safest, best bet. But, you know, we'll see. It's a tough betting card.
Andrew's a tough kid. I mean, I'm not going to knock him because it could be a close, drawn-out decision, but I think Wellington does enough in the long run as far as volume-wise, too. And I think Wellington's a little bit of the tougher kid as far as taking some chances, getting in there, and doing some things, you know, making things happen. So,
Right.
cool. Next fight, Nasrat comes in at minus 250 versus Alex Munez, plus 195, over and under 2.5, over minus 150, under plus 120. What do you got here, Preston?
Yeah, so this is probably one of the more exciting fights of the night. So Nasrat Haqparast, he's off a KO loss to Drew Dober. He definitely likes to keep the fight standing, strike. He's pretty, I don't want to say quick, but he has good movement. Usually, minus his last fight, he can slip the punches pretty well and outstrike his opponent. His opponent here, Alex Munoz, has a Contender Series fight where he beat up Nick Newell. Pretty much that fight, he outstruck him, and then he grappled him down, took him down, beat him up on the ground, and was just the bigger, more imposing guy. And even here, I think Munoz physically probably is the bigger guy, and he has to use his wrestling here. Haqparast does leave himself vulnerable to strikes and counters, but if he's as good as what he was claimed to be and pushed as, this is a fight he has to win. I'm going to take Nasrat maybe by decision. I think if this fight, especially if this fight stays standing, and he can just move, like he has to move, he can't stay in the pocket, he can't just go blow for blow because he did get caught, so we don't know if he has a chin issue or not, but I never like, you know, fighters have gotten knocked out, and Cody Garbrandt, where they go back, trade shots, and lose. Munoz, though, isn't really the type of guy, that, from what I've watched, that can just one-shot clock you, but now, if you put the perfect punch on, you can knock anyone out. So, yeah, I'm going to take Nasrat here by decision, hoping he keeps the fight standing. And, yeah, because he had good wins. Joaquim Silva, he cracked him good. Guti, he beat him up. T. Casey, he beat him up. So, yeah, I'm going to take Nasrat by decision.
Yeah, it's a little bit tougher for me. I agree with you. It's kind of weird because, I mean, fucking Alex Munez, by far, I think has... I mean, this is a pure grappler versus striker bout, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Munez is...
I mean, Munez is like... I mean, he's going to have to go after those takedowns. That's what he's got to do.
Yeah.
He's not going to want to sit there in front of Nasrat. Nasrat, though, he can keep those guys shooting off when he throws that nasty front kick with his legs into the body.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes to use his knees. I mean... And all those are just to set up his overhand left. Like, that overhand left's a bomb.
Yeah.
And if he just gets any bit of time on here to hit Alex with a few of those shots, I think it's over quick. But you do have to worry because he doesn't have the greatest takedown defense.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look up the stat, but I know it's not good just from watching the guy. And you got to worry about that. But he will try to scramble up. He's not going to lay on his back, I don't think. Alex, though... I don't know if he has enough as far as like a black belt jiu-jitsu background or anything to keep Nasrat down. He's definitely going to get Nasrat down, I think, a few times. I mean, I think he's clearly the better grappler. But like you said, Nasrat, he's projected to be this world-class superstar.
Yeah, he was getting a lot of hype, and then the guy who I guess they just give to everyone to derail the hype's Drew Dober because he beat Nasrat, then he beat hometown kid here, Alex Hernandez.
And he's hungry, dude, because he lost to Dober. You know, he got knocked out, right? Or
yeah, really quick. Yeah.
So it's kind of like he's got to be hungry to get back in that light. I mean, he's got to. So I'm going with Nasrat as well. I think he can knock out Alex Munoz.
Yeah, that or
Munoz.
yeah, like I said, I took him by decision, but Yeah, under isn't a bad look either. So we move on here. Kevin Holland, whose fight got canceled last week due to Trevor Giles fainting, taking on Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah, I watched Buckley a little bit in the Contender Series, was it, right?
I saw one fight on LFA.
Yeah. And he's just a big-ass dude that's kind of slow and freaking just everything's slow, kind of winging huge shots.
Yeah, he's the much smaller guy.
Much smaller guy. I think Kevin, I mean, he has him outclassed in every aspect in this fight. I think this is the easy. Kevin, we're sorry you got canceled on twice. We're going to give you a layup so you get through this shit. Now, granted, these big boys, and this is combat sports, Buckley can clip anyone and knock him out. He's got power to do it. I just don't think Holland lets it go there. Easy win for Holland. Get back in the win column and go from there.
Yeah, with me, I think Buckley's going to try to put his head down, get inside, and just, wing bombs. And Holland has fought dumb. I think he's learned, though, not to, get into striking exchanges. Because here...
My thing, though, is, and correct me if I'm wrong, the over and under 1.5, I could see this going over. Because Kevin Holland, I mean...
Yeah,
you see him kind of toying around with people and playing around sometimes.
Yeah, minus
almost
115, yeah.
I mean, I could see that going over pretty easily, to be honest with you. Just in the way Kevin Holland sometimes fights, he's not afraid to do some things and try some things and roll around on the mat and. I don't know. I'll have to look at that a little bit, but that's not a bad look.
Yeah, you kind of want to see how durable this other guy is, because like I said,
true that.
Holland's 6'3", this guy's 5'8", so that's a huge height advantage. He'll have a large reach advantage.
Buckley looked thicker, though.
Yeah, Buckley's more of his frame to me looks like more of like a wrestler type where, he can try to pin you against the cage, try to take you down, because that's kind of what he did against that last guy. He got that guy against the cage, him with a couple of shots, and the guy wilted pretty quick. Holland, I think, just with the reach, I think Holland could maybe catch him because he caught Fluffy Hernandez with one of those knees to the stomach area where he punched him there, kneed him there, finished him quick. I think Buckley might be able to take a shot, but I'm going to say Holland by sub. I think I think Buckley's going to eventually gas out, and then Holland's going to drag him down and get a rear naked choke of some sort.
I could see that 100%. I wish there was a prop out because we'd definitely be looking at that. There's not yet.
Yeah.
We'll get it out to you probably tomorrow.
From what I've seen early, it's plus 150, so not great, but
not horrible.
Yeah, because you're getting a 450 favorite. Yeah, because that's what they were doing with what's his face, Kamzat, where he's laying 900 and you're getting even money on him to win by KO or something. So we can move on here with pretty interesting fight, I guess. Tim Means taking on Laureano Starpoli.
Yep, Tim Means. Let's see, Strapoli. That's funny because I was about to say Means should be. I thought he would be favored here, but I guess not. Strapoli minus 140. Tim Means plus 110. Over and under 2.5 minus 115. Under 2.5 minus 115. Man, this is a weird fight because I don't know a ton about Strapoli other than he's a pretty tough guy. I mean, he can take a beating. He can put out a beating. We know a lot about Tim Means, okay? He's fucking very offensive. Comes out there, throw a lot of volume, a lot of crazy shit. Elbows.
Yeah, the elbows.
Hurt you really bad. But we saw his chin. He's chinny. That scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that means he's shot. How's his chin going to hold up? Strapoli's the kind of guy that can take a beating for a little bit. If he can just last past that first round, he could unload on Tim Means and clip him and knock him out. So I don't feel too comfortable betting the dog in this. I'll probably lean Strapoli just because I think just what I said, man. I think he's got enough in him to outlast that first round Tim Means blitz where he kind of comes out all crazy, and then we saw what happened in the last fight. He kind of slowed down the second round, and
he got finished.
He got finished. So I think the same thing will happen. That's what I'm gonna roll with, minus 140.
Yeah. So when I saw this fight, I was pretty shocked that Tim Means actually got another fight or didn't retire, because his last fight he asked for it. It was a hometown fight. They gave him not a layup, but a guy he was supposed to win. He was a 3-1 favorite. And yeah, he got clipped, knocked out bad. Starpoli's definitely a guy who I don't think's that great. He has a win over Thiago Alves. I thought he lost, and then he
Yeah.
lost to Salikov.
He did lose that.
So he's a guy who I think he wins this fight, then he's going to be a fade. But yeah, he's just, unless he's like really lousy, he should finish Tim Means, because Means is going to come out, do his Muay Thai stuff, his kicks, his elbows, his knees, try to get inside, beat you up. But if Starpoli hits him, because Starpoli throws some crazy shit too, those spinning back kicks,
Yeah.
those like weird wheel kicks.
The Argentinian.
Yeah, he likes, going back to his low kick, his jab. And I think, like you're saying, he's going to should have a better gas tank, a little more endurance, where Means is more than likely going to slow down. Starpoli might target the body and start working him over and eventually get maybe a late finish. This might be my best bet, only because, again, Means is probably technically better, but that chin is pretty bad. And once your chin goes, it's pretty tough to back a fighter. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Starpoli here for sure. We can move on to maybe one of the more interesting fights of the night. Beneil Dariush taking on Scott Holtzman.
Dariush coming in at -190. Scott Holtzman +155. The over and under 2.5. -115 over. Under -115. Seeing a lot of these. You don't see that too often.
Yeah.
Bunch of -115s. Even the books don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if your tout is giving you 12 bets on this card, I would run away, because this is a very difficult card, I think, to bet. A lot of it's flipping a coin, and prime example is this fight too.
Yeah, because like I'm going to say it real quick. Dariush, we know what happens to him. He gets knocked down at least once every fight, where you think, oh my God, it's going to be over. It's going to be over. I mean, I don't know how you can back someone at -190 that you just can't trust as far as not getting knocked out. On the other hand, I hate to say it, but in all aspects of the game, he's better than Holtzman. Holtzman just has some crazy shit, like crazy cardio and crazy power, and
Holtzman's more inclined to push through adversity.
Push through adversity, things like that. I guess, what do you call those? Maybe intangibles or something like that. Because he seems to get things done, and he's definitely on the upward direction. And that's what kind of scares me is Beneil's been around so long, it seems like forever now. Like he's becoming an old man, sort of.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's slow. I mean, he's getting slow, but the thing is, he's always going to have that grappling and superior wrestling in his back pocket. Like, he can probably take Scott down at will if he gets in trouble and take his back and sub him out. Like, he seems to find a way to always get the shit done, too. It's a very strange fight to me. This is one I'm definitely going to kind of chill and watch. And I don't even like the over and under, because I don't know. It could be like Dariush could fucking sub him in the first round, or Holtzman could knock him out in the first round, or they could roll around for 3 rounds. I don't fucking know. I don't have any clue. I know it's lame, but I'm going to watch this fight. I ain't going to bet on it. If I'm going to lean aside, I guess Dariush. I think he just got more. He's got a lot more to offer besides the chin. But I'm nervous because I want Scott to win. I'm not a huge, I like Dariush. He's always fun and exciting, but I like Scott too, man. It's a tough fight for me to choose. Maybe this would be my dog. I don't know. You convinced me otherwise, Preston.
Yeah, so like you're saying, this is a tough fight, because on first watch, or when you look at the fight, I think it's pretty clear most people are going to take Beneil Dariush just for his grappling edge. He can take you down, control you a bit, get your back. Like you're saying, pretty much every fight, because I had a bet on him against Drew Dober, and yeah, he almost got knocked out, but then Dober kind of gassed out, and he subbed Dober out. I actually am going to take Scott Holtzman here. I've been pretty impressed with him his last 2 fights. I had Jim Miller against him, and against Jim Miller, he just kind of overpowered him, pushed through, beat him up standing, and he's pretty quick. Like, I know people... I've seen people online claiming Dariush is going to have the advantage standing. I think Holtzman's going to be the better guy, just like from a kickboxing stand-up. Now, the issue is Holtzman is more than likely easier to control compared to Dariush. So if Dariush gets on top, Dariush can probably ride a round out or sub him. But I think Holtzman, if he can avoid the takedowns, and I don't think Dariush has a great gas tank. I think Holtzman
No.
wins there.
That's the scary part. Yeah. Holtzman's got the cardio out the advantage.
Yeah,
out the
so
ass.
I think the first round is going to be dicey. Dariush might drag him down, beat him up a bit. But I think the second round, Holtzman, if he doesn't get tapped out, I think he can start taking over in the third round, really put a beating on him, and secure a decision. So I'm going to take Holtzman here.
I mean, I always seem to call Dariush's fights wrong. I seem like I bet against him a lot. Like, even that Drakkar Close, I felt like Close had him cracked a minute.
Yeah, he almost knocked him out, and then
he just gasses out and gets fucking subbed or something,
yeah,
right?
he got
Oh,
knocked
he got
out.
TKO'd.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they each kind of threw punches at each other, and they were both rocked.
That's
and
right.
then-
I remember that. Yeah, and I bet
Yeah.
on Close. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Close got dropped. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just like, fuck, man, dude, this is tough for me, man, because I agree with you. I want to take a dog here. But I'm going to lean with Dariush. I'll go with Dariush here.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough fight. So move on. Julia Storylenko taking on Yana Kunitskaya. Another women's MMA fight, which I think for the first time in a month we're going to actually pass on.
Pass.
So
yeah, there's not much here, man. I mean, these aren't two great women's fighters. I'm gonna be honest. I'm going with the girl that has all the armbars victories here. I'm going with.
that's what's been winning.
I'm
yeah.
going with the submission artist. I mean, Yana, I know's got all the hype and probably all the aspect of the feet game for sure, but this fight's gonna end up on the ground, and Julia's gonna fucking submit her somehow. She just seems to find a way to do it all the time. I'm going with the dog here. It's not a big one. We didn't even read the odds here.
It should be. Yeah.
Yana's minus 190 and Julia is plus 155. Over and under 2.5. Over minus 190. Under plus 255. So I'm going to go Julia plus 155, and I'll go the under plus 155 as well, because I think she'll sub her fairly early and before the 2.5 rounds.
Yeah, the under here, actually, I don't mind as a look, because as we've been saying, last week it was Calderwood got subbed by Maya in round 1. Prior to that, we lost Rodriguez, which wasn't an under, but that was a close fight. So, but yeah, this is a tough one because Yana should have the advantage standing, striking. Julia is definitely more of a grappler. And in all the fights I watched of her in Invicta, she's very quick to throw that armbar up when she gets taken down. And Yana's not going to take her down. Yana's going to want to keep this fight standing. Strength of the competition goes to Yana. Probably training camp goes to Yana. This is Julia's first fight in the UFC. She's a replacement. Yana was actually training for a fight on this date against a tougher girl, Caitlin Vieira. And then Julia gets a call, replaces Vieira, gets put in here. Yana had a lot of hype when she came in. Her first fight, she fought Cyborg. She got beat to shit. Every time she's kind of fought that next level, she's lost. But this is a girl she should beat. But as we've seen with women's MMA, you really don't know. Especially, unless it's the top level. So, yeah, I'm going to take Yana here. I'm not going to wager on it. The line's probably too wide. Should probably be a pick. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Yana here to get a probably decision victory. So we can move on to a pretty fan-friendly fight here. Darren Stewart taking on Maki Pitolo.
Yep. Darren Stewart coming in as the favorite, minus 150. Mikey Pitolo, plus 120. Over and under 2.5, minus 105. Under, minus 125. Preston, what do you got?
Yeah, so this fight's at middleweight. So Maki Pitolo, his last fight, he moved up in weight.
185, right?
Yep, he fought Charles Byrd. First round was pretty close. Byrd might have got it. Second round, pretty much the first solid strike Pitolo put on Byrd, finished him. Darren Stewart, his last fight was in Cage Warriors. It's like a weird, made-up fight. He loses a decision there.
How embarrassing.
Yeah, that wasn't a good look at all. And then prior to that, he beat Duran Wynn and then Bevan Lewis. Stewart's a tough, it's a tough guy. This is a tough guy to really read because he's pretty small for a 185. I think he should be at 170. Patolo moved up. He looked good. Patolo, though, as his nickname suggests, coconut bombs. He likes striking, standing up striking. He has good uppercuts, good, pretty decent boxing. He throws, like he says, he throws bombs. Stewart, though, can probably take some shots. I think Stewart's going to want to grapple here. Really, it's whoever implements their game plan first should win this fight. I think under, if it's at 2.5, is a good look.
Under 2.5 minus 125.
Yeah, I think that's a good look. I think someone's going to get a finish because either Patolo knocks Stewart out or Patolo gasses and round 2 or early round 3, Stewart gets him down and kind of beats him up and gets a stoppage TKO. Man, it's tough because we haven't really seen Stewart just get knocked out standing.
I don't think Stewart. See, this is where I think I'm going to be a little different because to me, Patolo has the way better grappling and wrestling than Stewart does. He doesn't use it a bunch, but he does have it. And what I've seen, it's good. Stewart doesn't look like the wrestling's that great at all.
Yeah, the only problem...
He just got the power. He got the power, so that worries me a little bit. But I'm all over Mikey here. I'll just go ahead and say it. I'm all over. I think at 185, he's looked good. He's 2-0 at that point. He does throw way higher, more volume. He comes in with his blitz, his crazy combos. And he does have the wrestling in the back pocket that he can use if he needs to. Darren, he's looking for that one-shot knockout pretty much, in my opinion. And he either gets it or he doesn't. So I'm not going to – I don't know. I don't think he gets it. I think Mike is a little bit tougher than that at his weight. I think he looked good.
Yeah.
At this weight, I think he looks good and he feels good. And I think he's quicker at this weight. And
yeah, that might be
it's a tough fight, but I think Mackie, we're going to see a little bit of that wrestling come out. And I think it'll surprise people.
Yeah, I think it's just because I picked against him against Charles Bird, and then he was a very massive favorite against Kalen Potter, and he got controlled by an old man pretty easily.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a tough fight. Patolo can win. I think Stewart can win. Like I said, I think I prefer under. For show purposes, I'll take Darren Stewart. I'm not going to wager on the fight, but that's who I will pick. So we can move on to the co-main event. Omari Akhmedov taking on maybe his last fight in the UFC. Maybe he retires. Chris Weidman.
Yep. Weidman comes in at minus 140. Omari plus 110. Over and under 2.5. Over minus 120. Under minus 110. They got some props for this. They always do for the late night fights. But man, this is man, I was a Weidman fan back in the day, and then it's like 5 of his last 6 fights he's gotten KO'd and knocked out. So that went bye-bye real quick because you can't enjoy someone that gets cracked all the time and then talk shit about being the best when you're not. So, and then on the other hand, I mean, we know what Weidman is, man. We've seen it, but he's older now. We know he's chinny as hell, and that scares the hell out of me. And on the other hand, Omari's kind of an underrated dude, man. He just kind of walks forward, kind of does his thing. He's quiet, typical Russian style. And he's fighting good people too, man. He's got good fights. His last fights, he's got Ian, Zach Cummings, Tim Bosch, decision, Marvin Vidatori. I mean, he's fighting some good. Abdul Razak. He's fighting some good fights and won them all. I think he cracks Weidman here, man. I can't back Weidman in his chin. He might come out looking good the first round, and maybe even the second round. But come that third round, he's going to get cracked at some point. I can't back anyone with the chin, and he's on his way out. I just cannot back this guy. I know he's technically taken a step down in competition, but besides Silva, I mean, I look at his record, and I'm not overly impressed.
With his wins, or
just with his period.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, I think the big deal with that is he hasn't had an easy fight in years.
But I mean, he's getting cracked in the forehead and fucking going limp. Like that's not a good sign.
Yeah, but he's trying. So
You're in combat sports.
So he's dropping down though. So he moved up to 205 against Dominic Reyes. Got knocked out pretty bad. Reyes then goes on, arguably maybe defeated John Jones. You know, that was a controversial fight. And so Weidman recollects his thoughts, decides, okay, I'm going to go down to 185. Then they make this fight, which is a pretty, it's an interesting fight because Amari Akhmedov doesn't really have a lot of hype behind him. Like Jeff was saying, a Russian, goes forward, grapples.
Quiet.
Yeah, doesn't really say much. You know, goes out there, doesn't really get
wins decisions.
Yeah, doesn't really get heavy top billing either. So this is like a pretty big billing for him, a co-main event. I have to, just for principle's sake, just take Weidman here. This is a fight. If Weidman does lose, Weidman has to retire. Weidman is he's gonna be the bigger guy, longer guy. He should. I don't know if he's gonna just he won't take this guy down at will. I think Weidman can try to stick and move a bit, clinch him up, maybe make it a pretty boring fight, get him down, beat him up. Because last time Weidman was really kind of shell-shocked was when he, after that loss to Mousasi, he gets a hometown fight against Gastelum, finishes Gastelum, where, he could have gotten knocked out because Gastelum hits like a truck too. The only problem is here, Weidman's chin is more deteriorated. But I think Weidman has just enough to win this fight. And then if they really give him a top 10 type guy, it's going to be a pretty clear fade, and I think he will lose that step up. But I think he has enough to win this fight. 140 is not a horrible price to pay for him. And, I'm going to back Chris Weidman here. So,
yeah, that's the thing that does suck a little bit is, I am going to back Amari. I think he's going to win this fight because I think he does crack Weidman, but I would really like to see that number, a lot higher than plus 110.
Yeah, I'd open at a pick, and then
yeah.
Money's coming in on Weidman, which is understandable.
Yeah. So it's a little bit strange to bet. I think you could almost, if you're going to play that angle, the over 2.5 minus 120 is a good bet too, because if you're thinking Weidman, you're thinking decision. He's going to control and grapple the whole time.
Yeah.
He's not going to finish Amari. Amari's sat and went toe-to-toe with some tough-ass dudes. Vettori's one of them. Like, you see what Israel Osana said about Vettori, like he's tough as fucking nails.
Yep.
And then Amari is sitting there exchanging with his ass too, and so I don't think this guy's by any means no fucking pushover. I think he's getting a little disrespected here, actually. Just because he doesn't have the hype and everything else. That might change after this weekend. He beats Chris Weidman. He goes back to Russia, and he's got a huge win on his belt. So it's going to be an interesting fight. I look forward to that one, actually.
Yeah. There's a couple here that are pretty interesting, but not so much, at least for me personally, this main event. So we move on to the main event of the card. Derek Lewis taking on Alexei Oleinik.
Lewis comes in at minus 190. Oleinik plus 155. Over and under 1.5. Minus 115. Another minus 115 under.
Yeah.
These bookies don't know what to do on this card.
Yeah, this is tough because Oleinik fights are either one-round finishes or they're pretty bad, longer decisions where it's pretty boring, crappy to watch.
And Lewis is kind of the same way, you could argue, lately. If you look at his fights, they seem like they've dragged out.
Yeah, his last fight was horrible against Latifi.
Yeah, against Latifi, and everyone says, well, it's either a quick knockout or not, but is that really true? Because Derek Lewis, if he doesn't catch that first blitz and catch Alex, I think Alexei can somehow clinch him and maybe get him down. Derek Lewis will always go down on his back every fight. We see him on his back at some point, right? Seems like it.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, he's hard to submit too, so that's another issue. But he's dealing with someone that has made a living. He's got 46 submissions on his record or some shit.
Yeah.
Fucking nuts.
Yeah, Oleinik, yeah.
So this was a tough fight for me to call, man. I could see Oleinik getting that 60th win. He's sitting at 59-13 right now. maybe get that 60th win by some choke and fucking see you later, dude. But Derek Lewis, I mean, you don't want to bet against a guy that can turn the lights out in one stroke of a punch. I mean, I'm gonna go Lewis just because I think Lewis will catch him on that blitz, similar to what Walt Harris did. But I'm not comfortable with it, and I don't know the minus 200 or
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like 250.
Yeah,
money's been coming in.
Minus
Oleinik.
190. I don't feel confident laying on someone that we know if he doesn't get this knockout, he's going to be on his back.
Yeah.
He's going to be on his fucking back.
Yeah, I have no interest in betting this fight at all. Oleinik's a guy who I think you can bet on him when he's fighting the Maurice Greens of the world, the Junior Albinis, the sub-level.
Well, it's crazy is he got lucky with Werdum, but Werdum looked like garbage.
Yeah.
Like, he looked out of shape.
Well, and Oleinik in that fight was a huge dog.
And he couldn't finish a Werdum that was totally fucking out of gas.
Yeah. And my only issue is with Derek Lewis, and we've seen it. If you watched the show for a long time, we've trashed Derek Lewis pretty good when he got that title shot against Daniel Cormier back in the day. That was a joke, too. Cormier just beat him up pretty bad. Then he fights JDS, gets knocked out. That was a pretty easy one for us with Dos Santos. But Lewis, yeah, he comes forward. He looks like he's dead tired, and yet he always has power. He somehow still has power. He throws heavy.
He looks in best shape of his life.
Yeah, with quarantine, I guess he got locked down, got some good workouts in, and he's right there too. And that's the deal too. In heavyweight, it's a pretty shallow division. Derek Lewis wins this fight, he's back to top 5. He's probably one win away from a title shot. Oleinik wins this fight, he's up there too. There's not a lot of good heavyweight fighters. Next week's the big pay-per-view. DC says he's retiring. Who knows if Stipe retires too if he wins? So you could lose 2 big heavyweight fighters. Who does that leave? Ngannou and Derek Lewis again?
Yeah.
So there's not a lot at heavyweight.
No, it's very shallow.
So I'm gonna agree here. I'm gonna say Derek Lewis eventually catches Oleinik, finishes him. Only because Oleinik, when you watch him fight, it just doesn't seem like he's doing anything, and then somehow he gets these chokes and just wins the fights and gets these submissions. But not an interesting fight for me at all. Just not something, it's a tough fight. So, yeah, I mean, that's the card. I'm
trying to bring up some props real quick just to see what Derek Lewis by KO would be because, I mean, you really think this fight's going 5 rounds? This is a 5-round fucking bout, and the over and under is set at 1.5.
Yeah, if this fight goes
at minus 115, I would almost say over because.
Yeah, but if this fight goes 5 rounds, I'm gonna be banging my head against the wall because they're going to be dead.
I was
tired.
I was going to put a tweet out that said if this fight makes it to the 5th round, I'll send everyone that retweets this $100.
Yeah, but the deal though is like both guys might be dead tired, and then we've seen the heavyweight fights where that happens, and they literally just circle out against each other, try to throw, but have no power, so they can't finish each other. Just a tough fight to watch, but
man, I cannot get these fucking props up, but it's driving me nuts.
Yeah, Lewis by KO should probably be like minus 110 or even money, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So we can move on to a best bet. Very tough card for me for a best bet. I guess I'm just gonna keep it pretty simple. I'm gonna go with actually Wellington Turman. I was gonna say Chris Weidman because I think he needs to win, but I'm gonna go with Wellington Turman here. I think Andrew Sanchez is going to want to initiate some grappling, try to wrestle. I think Turman is slick enough on the ground with his jiu-jitsu to switch positions, get mount, maybe get a choke, maybe get a finish, get some ground and pound. I think it's a fair line, 150-ish. You're not paying a lot of juice. I think he's overall the better fighter, the younger fighter, more juice in his gas tank. And I think Turman gets it done. So that's what I'm going with my best bet.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. You stole my best bet as well because that's the one I had my eye on. It's the only one I feel pretty comfortable at. And
the deal is a lot of people are on Sanchez, so either they know something or
we don't. But
yeah.
The other one I think I would probably take a shot on is Pitolo plus 120. I think he gets the job done. Think he can put on the volume, win a decision, either use his wrestling or Even TKO Stewart. I mean, we'll see. But I like him at a dog plus 120. He's been looking good. Let's give the Hawaiian a shot. If anything, we know Hawaiians are tough son of a bitches, so they definitely got that going for them.
Yeah, definitely. And then, as always, guys, make sure to join us tomorrow. We'll be live from the main card. Again, it's on ESPN Plus. Every card this month is actually on ESPN Plus, which kind of sucks. So we'll be here watching that. 8 to 11, I believe, is the card. And
You got anything on Bellator real quick before we go? There's only a few fights left.
yeah, has the main card even started? I don't know.
No, it hasn't. But is there anyone that's just standing out to you like I would bet money on?
Yeah, I mean, I think Michael Chandler is gonna win.
Me too.
But
Decision.
yeah, it's hard to. You're laying over $2, so that kind of sucks. But
What do you think about the Miles guy, Miles Jury?
yeah, he's pretty good. He's been a good former UFC fighter, and Georgie Kikarian got knocked out bad against AJ McKee, which was a tough night for him. So yeah, Jury should win. Again, with these Bellator cards, it usually is chalk, but man, it's tough. Yeah, I would say, because I don't even think you want to lay 230 on Chandler.
I mean, dude, I'm pulling up the lines. Just let me load this shit up and let's see.
Yeah, because if you could do,
We're just trying to fill some time. I know it's kind of putting you on the spot here, but
I would do like, if you have the prop of Chandler by decision or whatever the over is, I think the over is going to hit. Hopefully it's not 4.5, but if it is, I think that's still pretty safe. I think Chandler's just the better fighter. It's the last fight on his contract. I've heard rumblings that he might join the UFC if he wins. So
okay, we got Curtis Millender coming in minus 420. You gonna bet him?
not a chance.
Miles Jury minus 235. He's got a good opponent though.
Yeah, Georgie Kikarian has decent grappling.
I mean, plus
okay
190.
striking.
Yeah.
Jury's just the bigger guy, though, taller, longer.
What
guy.
about the heavyweights with Matt Minestrone and?
Yeah, Matt Mitrione is tough to bet on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, pretty much the first punch he gets thrown on, he gets knocked out. His opponent, Timothy Johnson, his last fight, he upset, I think, Tyrell Fortune. Tyrell Fortune was a minus 700 favorite, and Johnson knocked him out in the first round. He got inside, clipped him, knocked him out. So under there would probably be a good look if you're getting 1.5 rounds.
Minus 110 each way. I mean, it's a pick 'em fight. Could take a shot with Johnson and the under.
Yeah, I think under there, I would say under there, probably Millender in the over.
Yeah.
Jury in the over.
Yeah, I like the Millender over for sure. Minus 150.
Yeah,
and then the Chandler Henderson, you got minus 235. Henderson plus 190. Over and under 2.5 minus 130. No, minus 330 over.
Yeah, it's a 3-round fight. So
yeah.
So unlike the UFC, Bellator still has 3-round fights, and
nobody's finishing no one, I don't think, in that fight.
Yeah, no, Chandler by decision would be the only bet I would make because
deal
there's
no props. So.
Yeah, because Benson could, again, we don't really know with judging. Benson could scrap together 2 rounds, win a split. It could happen. I just don't think you should lay 230 with Chandler here. We got burned bad last year when Chandler got pretty bullshit. It was a quick stoppage against Pitbull. Remember, Pitbull moved up in weight and knocked out Chandler in a minute, and the ref stopped it quick. And it was like, what's going on here? So Bellator is a tough organization to bet, but usually the better fighters tend to win more often than the UFC.
So Derek Lewis by TKO KO is minus 150. No.
Yeah, so there's no value.
Yeah,
there.
no value. Well, cool, man. We're gonna rush home and probably get on a couple of these Bellator fights. See if we can't build our bankroll up for tomorrow.
Yeah. So, and then, as always, we will be, like I said, live tomorrow, Talkin Hands, live stream 8 to 11, watching the fights, ESPN Plus. We'll hit our sponsors one more time. If you're suffering from stress, anxiety, joint pain, PTSD, or insomnia, go to Natural Heights CBD Oil. Give them a call at 210-592-1060, or drive over, visit them in their shop at 1880 Nacogdoches Road. As always, pubsportsradio.com. Get some merchandise. We have shirts from ourselves, Diehard MMA. We have some bet slip tickets. We have our boys from the Red Scare. They did good this year in the tournament, the TBT tournament. They went far. Our guy got signed to a French club.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that was cool. Pick up some shirts, live stream, Pub Sports, promo code MyBookie. We're going to, if we bet tonight, who do we bet with? MyBookie.ag. Promo code Pub Sports. If you enter promo code Pub Sports, you will get a 50% deposit bonus for a minimum deposit of $99. So at least, just throw $100 in there. Try to string together a couple wins, get your 50% deposit bonus. And, that's good. And as Jeff said, we're always live here in San Antonio, Texas at Southtown 101 Bar and Grill. Currently open for to-go and
Patio seating.
Patio seating. So stop on by, get seated at the patio if you're in San Antonio. Should be a nice night out here, not too hot. And, get yourself a burger, mozzarella sticks, chicken wings, drinks, alcohol. They have whatever you need.
Margaritas. We just bought a new one, margarita machine. It's working so good. So good.
Especially in this heat. You need a nice, cool drink, so get yourself a nice, cool margarita.
Yep.
That should be it, guys. We will be back tomorrow night for our live stream, giving you guys our best bets, and we will be betting on, as I said, mybookie.ag. Enjoy your night, guys. We will see you tomorrow.